the beautiful Allyn Rose.
So this is two very, very tough acts to follow here. I am just really honored to share the stage with these two incredible women who have not only stared down the barrel of the gun of breast cancer, but who have come out on the other side of it, advocating for other women and helping them navigate this experience in an easier way and really help build on their own experience to help others. And I am so fortunate to be here to share with you my story as a pre-viver, someone who's had a prophylactic surgery to help prevent cancer. And to really fully understand my story, I think I have to share the journey of my mother, Judy Rose. So at 27 years old, my mom was on top of the world. She was finishing up her second master's degree at the University of Hawaii. She was a marathon runner, she was young, she's beautiful. And after feeling a little run down for a while, she decided to go see her doctor. She had also found a lump in her breast. And the doctor dismissed her immediately and said, "The lump in your breast is a result of too much coffee drinking," if you can imagine that. He said, "You're too young to have cancer, come back and see us in 6 months." And being a marathon runner, she was fairly attuned to her body, so she really didn't take that as an adequate answer. So she pushed and she finally was able to get some follow-up screening. A couple weeks later, results come in, stage 3 invasive ductal carcinoma at 27 years old. And my mom shared with me that her first thoughts weren't, "Oh my God, I have cancer." They aren't, "Am I going to die?" It's, "I'm not married, I don't have kids, and what man is ever gonna love me with one breast?" And that's, pretty difficult situation to go through at 27. As Dana shared, being a young woman going through something like that. And a few years later, my mom met my dad, and I always joke, he said having one breast didn't faze him one bit because he was a leg guy. But as their relationship evolved, he started to realize the realities of reoccurrence. And he begged my mom for years to get rid of her remaining breast as a prophylactic measure. He said, "Judy, this is a ticking time bomb. I don't care what you look like. I want you to be around for the next 50 years. And my mom didn't do it. And unfortunately, in April of 2000, my mom was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer in her remaining breast. And she died just 1 month after my 16th birthday. And it's been 16 years since I lost my mom, and I've continued to run through that experience in my mind. Why would a woman who lost her own mother to breast cancer, she lost her aunt to breast cancer, she'd faced cancer before, she knew the physical, emotional, mental repercussions of dealing with this disease. Why would she choose to keep this remaining breast when she was faced with really some pretty damning odds? And the only thing that I can reason was that my mother spent 20 years of her life with one breast. 20 years of feeling like half a woman. 20 years of feeling like removing that other breast would be removing that last vestige of her femininity and her womanhood. And I think as outsiders looking in, we can say, of course her femininity had nothing to do with her breast or the way that she looked. But for most women, that's just not the reality. Because the way that you look matters. And it matters because that's how you face the world. That's how you're able to take and put one foot in front of the other every day and really present yourself to everyone. And I really, truly believe in my heart that if my mother had been able to reconstruct her breast the first time, she wasn't, because this was almost 40 years ago, and she had a radical mastectomy all the way down to the chest wall. And so living with one breast was incredibly detrimental to her life. And if she had had the opportunity to meaningfully reconstruct that breast, I think that she would have perhaps had the courage to go on and have a prophylactic surgery to remove that remaining breast, and she may still be here today. But of course, hindsight's 20/20, but that's why I am so honored to be here today to talk to you and to thank you for the work that you do and to truly say, thank you for saving my life. And I know hearing that and sitting there, you may think this is kind of contrite. You don't know me, how could you possibly have had an impact on my life? But having the opportunity to meaningfully and beautifully reconstruct your breast is what gave me the courage at 26 years old, as a model, as a former Miss USA and Miss America contestant, to have this surgery, because I knew there was a possibility of a positive cosmetic outcome. I knew that if I underwent this surgery, there was the opportunity for me to live the rest of my life and feel like a whole woman. The feeling that my mother, I think, was really robbed of for years, knowing that she'd never be able to reconstruct that breast and she'd always feel like half of a woman. And of course, there are women out there who choose not to reconstruct, but for me, it was very important in how I was able to live the rest of my life and the opportunities that I wanted to have and how I was going to view myself. So I stand before you today as a woman who took charge of her life and her health care and saved my own life through this preventive surgery. You know, I've lost my mother, my grandmother, my great aunt to breast cancer. Every woman in my family has lost their life to this disease. And because of the products that you have, I've been able to take this step in my life, and now it's crazy every time I say it out loud. I am the first woman with a mastectomy to model for Sports Illustrated swimsuit, and to get to encourage a new generation of young women to know that if you have a family history, if you have a genetic mutation, if you've undergone a cancer diagnosis, that you have the opportunity to look and feel whole again. And that is an incredibly powerful feeling and opportunity for young women to have this and to know that moving forward with their life, a mastectomy doesn't have to be the defining moment in their life. You know, it's a chapter in the book, it's something that they go through, but they're going to be able to live meaningful, long lives. And the opportunity now that young women have to have prophylactic surgery when faced with a genetic predisposition to cancer is life-changing. So I want to thank Allyn, thank everyone in this room, thank Natrelle for giving me that freedom in my life, giving me that peace of mind of knowing that I'm not, very likely not going to face breast cancer in my life, and knowing that, unlike my mother, I'm not going to have to tell my 16-year-old daughter someday that she's going to have to spend the rest of her life without her mom. You know, I've been given this incredible peace of mind. And I want to thank you for the work that you're doing. And the work that you're doing has a face, and you're looking at 3 of them up here. And so really all I can do is say thank you. I want to encourage you to continue to do the work that you're doing, to advocate for these products, because they are changing the lives of women. So thank you.
I don't know why I agreed to sit up here with you guys. I should have been in a corner somewhere. We're very fortunate to have them today, and a big thank you to Rich and Jeff, who found time in a very busy schedule because they saw the value of a session like this. So thank you again to these 3 amazing women, Beth, Dana, Allyn. Thank you for being here. Thanks, guys. Bye. Love you. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, guys.